Hey guys, I'm here today to talk to you about guitar strings. There's lots of different choices, and you might be struggling to make a choice at the moment if you're new to playing guitar, but hopefully I'll help you out with that. You go to the music store, there'll be a wall full of strings, and you have no idea what to choose. We're going to be talking about electric guitar strings today in general, and we're going to be talking about gauges and string brands and choices. So here we go, let's get into it. First of all, your guitar, when it comes from the factory, it comes from the store, wherever you buy it from online, it'll come with a certain gauge of strings. Most likely on a Fender style guitar, you'll be having the 9 gauge strings, which is meaning the is smallest string is a 9 gauge, and here's a Fender guitar. It's a Mexican-made Strat. It's strung up with Elixir strings, which are one of my favorite brands, and they have 9 gauge and 9 gauge strings on there. So also you might have a Gibson guitar, such as here we go, such as my Gibson, which is the SG, the SG Special, and this comes from the factory with 10s on it, 10 gauge strings. So I usually use, when stringing up a Strat, find some, here we go, I usually use 9 gauge. Here's a pack of 9s from Ernie Ball. They are Super Slinkies, and as you can see right there, the Super Slinkies, and they are 9 gauge. They'll come Strats, Tellys, the sort will come with 9s. Then we're talking about Gibson guitars, they'll usually come with 10s, so typical pack of 10 gauge strings right here. 10s right there, these are Ernie Balls, regular Slinkies. Super Slinkies will have a bit more slink to them, they'll be a bit easier to bend, a bit easier to play on them. And then we've got regular, which are the 10 gauge, 10s, and they'll be just have a bit more bite to them, they'll be a bit more aggressive, you can be a bit harder when you're picking and with those. Yeah, it's up to you really, you can string your guitars with whatever gauge you like. I just like to use 9s or 10s on a Strat, Telly. I like to use 10s on a Gibson, Paul Reed Smith type guitar. Something like, if you're going into metal, something like that, you might want to look at, here we have a Jackson Rhodes model, Randy Rhodes, and that is actually strung up with 10s at the moment, but I am going to be putting some 13 gauge strings, so I can really drop tune that, and we can have drop tuning, and we can be into that really chug kind of distorted metal sound. But you can usually drop tune, you can drop tune anything really, but with heavier gauge strings it makes it a lot easier. A brand that I was using a lot was Ernie Ball, particularly the 9 gauge on my Strats, and the regular Slinkies, the 10s on my Gibsons. But I've just recently been sticking D'Addario strings on some of my Gibsons, and they've been very good. Set of 10s here, D'Addario nickel wound. They give it a brighter tone, I think. Seems to be a bit brighter, and they seem to be a bit more jangly in the highs, what you want in Strats and Tellys. But the Gibsons, you want it still to be bright and nice and sharp and crisp. Ernie Balls are doing fine for me, but I've recently switched over to D'Addarios on my Gibsons. But on this particular guitar, on my Stratocaster, Fender Stratocaster, I have recently strung it with 9 gauge Elixir Nano Webs. Nano Webs are a coated string. There's another string, and these come in 9 to 42. So these are coated electric guitar strings with the anti-rust, and they last, like it says on the packet, 3 to 5 times longer tone lasts. I found they last, usually I'll play a lot, so usually Slinkies or Diodarios I go a month for those. 2 weeks if I'm got gigs on, 2 weeks playing gigs. You know, if I'm playing a lot, I'll have the Diodarios or the Early Balls. Last me about a month, couple of weeks, 3 weeks, you know, month tops. But I found with the elixirs on my Strat, it's been a month and a half, almost 2 months, and I've still got some great tone, great feel with the elixir strings. So if you're looking for a string that gives you great tone and lasts a long time, can't really go wrong with the Elixir NanoWebs. They come in a range of gauges too. They come in 9, 10, 11s, 13s, up to real heavy gauge strings. I mean, they did used to do the Polyweb strings, which I was a big fan of, but they discontinued those, I believe, a while ago, or just hardly find them. I mean, I've looked online; they're out of stock, discontinued. Guitar shops, oh, we haven't seen those for years, they'll say. But the NanoWebs are pretty good. If you can find the Polywebs, I mean, stringsdirect.com, it's a good site. Even the gore.com or elixir.com.uk. You can find the Elixir Polywebs still on there. And make sure you get the ones with the anti-rust on the plain strings, because otherwise your plain strings will be rusting out. But otherwise, fantastic strings. A lot of people say coated strings seem dead, feel dead, but I haven't found that with the elixirs. I've tried the Diodario coated ones, the Ernie Balls, and don't go with the DR strings. They're terrible strings. Don't go with those. But the Diodarios seem pretty good, coated, and these regular strings too. Ernie Balls, I'm a big fan of Ernie Balls. I was using Super Slinkies on my SG for a while, because I heard Angus Young uses them, and I like playing AC/DC songs. So I wanted to get that tone, but you can never get his tone, you know. But that's what I was using. But I moved over to 10 gauge in either the Ernie Balls or the Diodarios. Diodarios are made in the USA, and one of the few strings that are actually made in the USA. Good quality strings. I mean, the Ernie Balls will say made in USA on them, you'll say there, but I don't think they are. I think they're made over Korea or over the East somewhere. But the elixirs, I'm not sure where they're made. Where are they made? It says USA, can't be too sure. But these are good strings, very good. If you can grab a pack of NanoWebs or find the Polywebs, which are even better. The coating lasts a lot longer on the Polywebs, I believe. But the NanoWebs, looking for a long-lasting string, great strings. Right, see you next time.